Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right, good morning. Welcome. We're glad to have you here today on the Cashflows show. And my name is Cash Matthews, and obviously the show has my name in it.
Yes, it does.
And we're excited about that. We are here to explore some of those questions about life, business, and otherwise. And we call that the good life. And what we do is we bring in successful people, entrepreneurs, friends that have accomplished something in life, and they share how they did it. Pretty cool concept.
Super cool.
You ever get busted in school for cheating off your neighbor? That's actually
no,
loaded. You never got caught.
Actually, no. Well, and there's the statute of limitations in Oklahoma too, so I can't talk about it for another 5 or 6 years anyway.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, third grade was tough.
That's right.
And but one of the things we learned in life is that you can meet people that have done something and ask them questions, and generally they'll tell you how they made it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do here at Cashflows is we bring people in from the community, from the world, and we ask them hard-hitting questions. And today we're going to do that exact same thing. So we're coming to you from the luxurious studio high above the Elevate Coworking Towers. And excited to be here. And I'm here with my co-conspirator in all of this, Mr. Kenneth Bockham. Kenneth, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Man, I am well, man. I went and got a haircut today.
Woot woot.
Yeah, it was freezing outside. I was late because my car was frozen over.
Uh-oh.
And, I think that's what a garage is supposed to be for, but that's where I keep all my junk.
That's what I've heard. That's where you're supposed to park, is in the garage.
Yeah, that's what the cool people do. I wonder how many people actually park in their garage.
Not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even park a bicycle in there. It's a little full. So, hey, I was up late last night, and I was digging around. I'm a computer buff and obviously highly technical.
Right.
And I was doing some high tech stuff. Turbo and
Turbo.
I don't know any other computer words. Briefcase. I was working on some things last night. I had my Commodore 64 out. And, man, we were having a good time on it. I had received an AOL disc in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And had an extra 15 minutes of airtime. So I jumped on and got into a chat room. You ever get in one of them chat rooms?
Been a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's still going, man. There's still a lot of people there. A lot of my old MySpace friends were in there.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and so we got in there, and I was in a chat room. I don't want to tell you the name of it. A little embarrassing. But met a lady who apparently was a fan of yours.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And her name was Anita Goodwin. And actually, I wrote down, she was the sorghum queen of Polk County.
Was that right?
Back in 72 and then again in 75.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't run in 73
winner.
and 74. She was voted out. But yeah, 1972 and 75, sorghum queen of Polk County. And but she had a question for you.
Okay.
And, she was kind of playing it up like, yeah, I kind of know Kenneth a little bit. Can you ask him a question for me?
Okay.
And so I wrote it down. I've got it right here. And it's hey, Mr. Kenneth, what I'd like to know is what's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. This is a question we get a lot from different people. And it's surprising how many of them know the sorghum queen. I think that's kind of interesting. But no, I'm actually the official consultant for Whimsical Daydreams, which is kind of like the opening to this segment.
I think so. I think I'm having a
whimsical.
You said whimsical, right?
Whimsical. Yeah, you have to over-enunciate, just a little whimsical.
Whimsical.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but not too much. You'll have to clean the mic. But.
We may have to do that anyway. Well, very cool. Well, I think that's awesome that you're in charge of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that was one of your goals at some point, or you wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a beast this year. Gotta knock out all those new goals and everything.
I'm a beast.
Yeah, this is my year.
And popular in Polk.
Yes.
Well,
Polk County,
yeah.
big deal there. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, we're glad you're here. Thank you, Kenneth. And
Sure.
The goal here at Cashflows, we have a philosophy, and the philosophy is fire, aim, ready. And I think too many people are out there in the world and they just never get done what they want to get done. Here we are in 2024. I'm still worried about Y2K, and here it is 2024. And but I think people have a tendency to not get done all the things they want to get done.
Yeah.
And I think some of that just relates to action. I don't know what the rest of the world thinks, but I think taking action. And so we believe in fire, aim, ready.
Boom.
And here we are.
I love everything about that because I'm a gun enthusiast, and the only way you know if you're even close to the target is you got to pull the
Got to
trigger.
take a shot.
And then there's more aiming. You got to shoot first to even know if you're anywhere close. If
Yeah.
you can sit there and look at it all day long and aim and aim and aim and aim and aim and aim and aim.
Yeah,
So-
till you pull the trigger.
That almost sounded like a motorcycle there for a second. We
Amen,
should
amen,
record
amen,
that
amen.
and use that for a.
I actually think we just did.
Well, that's true. That's true.
All right, and with that, we're going to introduce our guest today. This is a special guest for the podcast today, for the Cashflows podcast. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Rob Boyd, the founder of Classic Cleaning. Rob, say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
We are glad to have him here. Now, many of you know that a lot of our guests we met through this business owners networking group that has just proliferated.
Prolificated.
Yes, that word. It is all over Tulsa, and it has grown. And Rob has a special designation, and he is kind of the Highlander.
There can be only one.
There can be only one. Rob was member number 1 out of 5,600 currently.
Right.
Rob, tell us about your intro to the Business Owners Networking Group, the B.O.N.G. Tell us a little bit about how we did this.
Well, we met on Facebook. I was trying to build the cleaning business, and you had posted some of your Airbnb looking for a cleaner, and I thought, hey, I'll give that a try. And so we met, and wasn't it something that really was a fit there, but we got along, and so we started having coffee together. And we were sitting there having coffee, and you start telling me about doing this in Austin, and then you're like, you didn't miss a beat. You're like, I think I'm going to do one here. I am going to do one here. In fact, you're the first member. And I was like, that's fantastic. I'm going to go home and tell my wife I am the founding member of the Tulsa B.O.N.G group. She will be delighted.
Yes. And did she appreciate?
Well, I had to explain the acronym,
Right.
but other than that, yeah, it was good. It was good.
We get that a lot.
I wonder how many people have never seen a bong. I was one until a few months ago. One of our bong members went to his house, and he's like, hey, you want to see one? I'm like, yeah, I guess. And he brings one out. I thought it was a French harp or something.
Right.
And
That's a common mistake.
and he's like, you want me to see it? You want to see it work? Like, yeah, I guess. I mean, what does that mean? And he lit it up, and the rest is history.
I'm always confused when there's a music store next to a dispensary. I can't tell which is which sometimes.
You'd be surprised that is one of the number one things left behind when somebody moves out and we come in to do like a move out clean.
Yeah.
Is we find paraphernalia like that.
Wow.
They leave their bong behind.
Yep. It's usually the top shelf of the closet in the back that they like.
No bong left behind.
Ooh.
Right. And then what do you like? What do you do with a used bong?
Trash it.
Oh, that's not an eBay thing?
No. It could be, but not for me.
Okay, very cool. So what's your experience been with the bong? You're member number 1. We're a little over 2 years old. How's it gone for you?
I love everything about it. I have met some amazing people. It has been financially rewarding because of those relationships.
Right.
And even, I mean, surprisingly, even people that are in the same industry as I am
Right.
have sent me the majority of the increase in business because I send back to them. They specialize in one area of cleaning, I specialize in another, and so we feed off of each other and go, no, I don't do that, but let me tell you who does, and we just
Got
feed
it.
back and forth, and it's been really neat. And then I've got a network marketing business that is growing through the B.O.N.G as well because there's people looking for other sources of
Other
income.
sources of income. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Well, now I know you had some kind of an award at the B.O.N group. We'd love for you to let our listeners know, like, how you've been recognized.
Well, I was the 2021 Entrepreneur of the Year.
2021 Entrepreneur of the Year, had a substantial cash prize and good parking.
Yeah.
Any other perks that come with that?
No, and I'm sure the check got lost in the mail, but the parking spot's good.
Parking spot's good, and you don't have to buy a ticket every month.
I do not have to
You're
buy
the
tickets.
one. You're exempt.
I'm number one.
I am
Nice.
number 1. Yeah, pretty good perk.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
I'll have to make a group and be number 1 so I don't have to buy tickets either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally someone asked me yesterday, it's like, hey, how do I log in to get the tickets? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I have to buy
Oh.
one. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't know that.
Yeah, you may recognize me from such films as.
When let's jump in there. You had a film career.
I don't know that I would call it a career. It was obviously hugely successful. I clean toilets for a living. But yeah, I did 13 independent films. Got the lead role in a boxing movie with Gary Busey called
Wow.
Prize Fighter. So yeah, you can use me in the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. You can say Gary Busey, Rob Boyd, Gary Busey, Kevin Bacon, and you're there in like two
Wow.
steps.
Wow.
Holy cow. Movie star.
Cool.
So you worked on, I mean, you're in a movie.
Done 13 of them. I tell all my friends that all of my dreams of being a B actor, starring in B movies, and winning Best Actor at a B film festival, nailed them all.
Wow. You
Nailed
got
it.
best actor in a
Oh
B
yeah,
film.
yeah, I'm an award-winning actor at the Script to Screen Bare Bones Film Festival.
Did you get like, you get a trophy for that or something?
It was looked like a cow skull, a painted cow skull on a plaque.
Do you still have that?
I think I have the plaque. Maybe I don't know.
Okay. You need to
No.
bring that to the next event.
I'll have to-
We need to see
I have to
that.
say, I'm sure it's I put it in an attic. I don't. I used to have a shelf that was like my wall of shame. That was like clips from all the movies and stuff. And I was finally like, I haven't done anything for several years. So I was like, in the wise words of the philosopher Elsa, let it go.
Yeah.
So I just put it. I just
Wow.
put it to the side and
We're getting a
moved
lot
on.
of good musical clips today from this.
Yes,
This is awesome.
it is game on today. Well, very cool. Congratulations on Entrepreneur of the Year and the
Thank you,
success
you.
you're having. And, I just want to say, from a contribution standpoint, I can't even imagine where this group would be without Rob Boyd.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I would be sitting here. I don't know that we would have grown the way we have.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the things that Rob Boyd is in business is a catalyst, not one who raises cattle,
Right.
but
Just to be clear, because since we're in Oklahoma.
one who creates change and helps
Yes.
ideas move forward. So, Rob, we're appreciative of that,
Absolutely.
and will always be that's always will be beneficial to this group that we're all part of.
Well, I
So, thank you
appreciate-
very much.
Awesome.
I appreciate you putting together something worth talking about.
Well, thank you, and let's talk about you then, Rob. Let's talk about who do you think you are? Because I know who I think you are. Who is Rob Boyd?
Who is Rob
Give
Boyd?
us a minute about you.
Boy, that's an onion that has many layers. But if I was going to make it as simple as possible, I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a family member, I'm a proud American, and then I'm an entrepreneur. And I try to keep it in that area, that order. Sometimes some step on the other, but I try to, God always comes first. The queen, my wife, she comes second. I do life and business. If I can't stand before my God and my queen, I won't do it.
Got it.
But that's basically how I try to live my life is
Right.
make sure the business is cute, but the family's more important.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean we have that philosophy here, and one of the things we work on in business is balance, because you don't want to be who's who in business, but who's he at home. And I think you've done a great job of that. At least I hope you have.
Well, I sure try. You have to ask my kids, at some point.
Well, no, you have grandkids also.
I have 7 grandchildren.
Okay, I kind of wanted to dig into that because you got. I mean,
I got 4 kids and 7 grandchildren. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
papa to 7 now.
so you are
From 18 down to like 2 months.
you have grandkids that are
18
okay.
years old, yeah.
All right. Well, I want to get your skincare regimen. 'Cause you look great.
How's that song go? Another music deal? I work out.
All righty. Well, Rob, we appreciate that. So tell us about, real quick, before you were in business. How long have you had Classic Cleaning? Let's start there.
I purchased Classic Cleaning in 2019.
And what did you do right before that?
Before that, I'd overseen cleaning for 20-something years. I'd been the director of operations for the world's largest cleaning franchise. I oversaw cleaning at the University of Tulsa, and then I was operations manager for 8 years with health clubs around town.
So this is, a lot of people listening to this are going to wonder, like, how do you go from employed to self-employed? Sometimes it's voluntary, sometimes it's involuntary. Talk to us about that move, and I think you probably did that right around the time COVID hit. I mean, you started 2019 the business,
Yeah.
and I know COVID had to be very kind to you.
Oh, it was very loving. Yeah, so I've always been very entrepreneurial. I got into network marketing when I was 18 years old because I was fascinated with the idea. It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. I can make money helping people make money by buying stuff that they want. That sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I've always, been into that. In 2019, there was some changes. Bought a new house. Wife's job got outsourced to Guatemala. So I was looking for something, and I had a network marketing company that I'd been in for 18 years, and they went from network marketing to retail, and so that kind of destroyed a downline.
Right.
So all that residual that was coming in every month kind of went away. So I was looking for something else, and I happened to be at work at one of the largest health clubs in town, and a gentleman that worked there, I overheard him saying, "I'm trying to find somebody to buy my cleaning company." and nobody can afford it. And I was like, you have a cleaning company? I was like, tell me more. And so we got into discussions, and I was like, I can buy this company for about what I had just spent on my furniture for my new house.
Right.
And the furniture wasn't going to make me any money, and I was trying to offset. So I very cleverly bought a commercial cleaning company 4 months before COVID shut the commercial world down.
Good timing, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're having
Timing
the
is
time of your
everything.
life right there.
Yes. So yeah, that was very intriguing.
So I know there are a lot of challenges with that, but I want to ask you, I know you've had some other personal challenges in your life. And the reason I want to ask this is because there are people out there facing challenges today as they listen to this, and they're not sure they're going to make it or make it through. Rob, talk about the challenges that you've been through, both as a person, as a business guy.
Well, we could talk a very, very long time on that. I will to unwrap me a little bit. I would tell you the biggest challenge in my life literally started at birth.
Yeah.
I was born with a birth defect. I was missing some pretty important parts of my intestinal tract. My understanding is 1 in 2,500 is born alive, and that one typically dies within the first 8 hours.
Wow.
So,
Mm.
besides being the fastest swimmer, I was born alive, so I was a
Right.
winner, right? So, because of that, I have over the course of my life had 11 abdominal surgeries now.
Wow.
Some, if you include the hernias that sometimes are the repercussion of having surgeries. But between age 5 and age 10 was a very, very bad time in my life. It's sad to say, but I was suicidal by age 8 because I would go from age 5 to age 10. I would go to school with a bag of clean underwear every day,
Oh,
but I would soil myself because I literally physically could not control it. And
wow.
so I would come home with a bag of dirty underwear. So I was literally crapping myself, at school. So back in those days, Pepe Le Pew was a cartoon character. It was also one of the nicknames that they gave me. I
Right.
was called
Mhm.
Pepe Le Pew, Human Stink Bomb, Human Napalm. I literally could go to anywhere that I wanted in the cafeteria, the playground, whatever. If I wanted that swing, head to it. By the time I got there, everybody would be gone because nobody wanted to be seen with Pepe Le Pew. So it was a very, very tough time.
Mm.
At 10, I had a surgery that made me quote unquote normal, whatever that is.
Right.
And I got the opportunity. Most people in their life, they get like a definitive moment where they get to like plant their flag and declare. Mine happened to be at 10 years old.
Okay.
So at 10 years old, my mom had negotiated with my teacher that I could do a book report based on my surgery. So I came back and I stood in front of all these fifth graders that had given me such grief for 5 years. And I said, I just had surgery to fix a birth defect. And what I have learned is that everybody has a birth defect. Some people may be missing a limb. Some people may have some intellectual problems, vision, hearing. It could be something as little as what do you got?
Birthmark or something.
Birthmark. Yeah, birthmark.
Yeah.
I said, but what I found for most people, it's their mouth. And that was me basically telling the world, I have the right to be here. Kiss off.
There you go.
And so that began a journey of staking my claim and saying, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it is I feel like I want to do. Which
Right. I
whether
deserve to
it's
be here.
whether it's audition. I mean, the first movie I did was in '93. It was a slasher movie called Party Crasher, and literally I was like, what if? What if? I don't want to be 50 years old and go, well, what if I had tried? And then I was so long ago, it was on VHS tape.
Right.
But my name is, one of 6 that made the box, and I lived through the movie. So, I just decided to go for whatever it was I want. I mean, the worst that can happen is that I learned something from it if it doesn't succeed.
Right. Very cool. Wow, what a story.
That's
So,
interesting.
so you've had to learn toughness from, I mean, pretty much from the beginning.
Well, I was a 37-year martial artist. I was a little bitty guy. I mean, I went into high school 4'8" and 85 pounds.
Oh,
So I got into martial arts because I was going to beat up the people that had picked on me. And then I got into martial arts and decided that was not the philosophy behind it. So I was
right.
grateful for it. But it helped me come up with a philosophy in life that I say knock down but never knocked out.
Yeah.
So, sometimes something will come along and, catches you off guard. And I'll go, oh, that was a good shot.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, so we're going to talk a little bit about business. That's an interesting history. And I'm always fascinated by the road people have traveled to get where they are.
Hmm.
And I think that's why it's important that we all meet people right where they are, because we don't know how they got there. And I'm glad that you're brave enough to come on and share that story about your history. So thank you for that. Um, so let's talk about things that have made a positive impact in your life. Like you've obviously had to overcome some things. That goes without saying. And things have made big changes in your life for you. What made the biggest changes for Rob Boyd in his lifetime?
Probably deciding to make the decision that I get to control what happens. That, I've got freedom of choice. We could be sitting here talking right now and I could say something and, maybe I irritate you and you just lean over and you punch me in the forehead because you think I deserved it. And, but you can't make me do anything.
Right.
I still have freedom of choice. You punch me in the head and, I can cry like a little girl, nothing against little girls. Or, I can cuss like a sailor, nothing against sailors, or I could say I don't know what's going on with you, but I'm gonna go get some ice. I'm gonna put this on, and we're gonna talk about this in a second. You cannot control me. I still control me, no matter
Right.
what happens to me. And so I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to learn more about this. And honestly, Tony Robbins and some of his books were some of the greatest things for me
Right.
to come across that to control your thought and to control your verbiage. And I've got employees from the past that will still call me and tease me because I used to say. If something went bad, I go bad. I go, man, that pisses me off. I mean, literally, I can feel my pecs move when I go, it pisses me off. And now I go, well, that's less than ideal.
Right.
And it literally causes like
the whole shift,
a whole thought process different in how you respond to it. And so controlling my words, controlling my thoughts, are those serving me? If they're not, then it's a waste of my time. I push it to the side.
Right. So you read, then you said you read
A lot.
Tony Robbins. You have a favorite book you've read, a favorite author?
Oh my heavens.
I mean, I know that you've given me several.
I've read, I think, every Tony Robbins book, including his last one, Life Force. I just finished the second Jordan B. Peterson book that I've read. I'm reading John Quick right now called Limitless, which is a really good book. It's also about kind of how to learn better, how to retain more information, how to like speed read,
Right.
which was interesting to me since I like to read. If I could read more,
Right.
that old corny saying, readers are leaders or leaders are readers. I love everything about that. And of course the Bible's got just great stuff.
What is
in it.
amazing how much stuff they've added to the Bible since I got more mature. And some of the, I don't know how they put that in there, but I don't know what edition.
Every time I really like Psalms and Proverbs. I just literally was reading last night, highlighting stuff that's like, I know that I've read this. I've read cover to cover at least 6 times, but every time I read it, I find something else that's like speaking to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that's just, the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Absolutely.
So often. Well, very cool. So let's as we're going to take a break here in a minute, but before we do that, I want to ask you another question about. And I want to choose the word carefully. Pet peeves might be the word, but challenges that people bring into your life. You and I would call them pet peeves off the air.
I honestly, I would say my biggest pet peeve is victimhood.
Yeah. Okay. Go on that.
Everybody's got a story. You heard a little bit about mine, but everybody's got a story. What hurts me is, okay, so imagine your life as a book. Okay, so page 1, you were born. Congratulations. You didn't do anything. Mom and dad were intimate, and here you are.
Yep.
The last page is death. Depending on the choices that you make between those pages, it could be a short story, it could be a novel, it could be a comedy, it could be a drama, it could be action adventure, it could be a little bit of everything. What hurts me is when everybody's got something. Everybody's got a bad paragraph, a bad chapter, maybe a couple of bad chapters. But what hurts me for people is when they get stuck on a page. I'm doing this is what I'm going through. And then they want to justify being on that page because if I turn 3 chapters back, mama didn't love me enough. Daddy didn't play catch with me. I blew my knee in high school, so I didn't get to make it to the pros or whatever. And they want to justify being here because of something that's already passed. You can't do you could have, Elon Musk money and you can't buy back 30 minutes ago, much less, years ago.
Yeah, sure.
And the sad thing is this book, for the most part, there are things that happen that you can't control. You can only control how you respond to them. But you hold the pen to writing this book. You literally turn the darn page, turn the page and write the next one.
Right.
So that you can then talk about, I mean, like for me personally, the things that I get to talk about now in spite of. I want people to live and succeed in spite of and not justify where they're at because of.
Right.
So that's my pet peeve. Be a victor.
Be a victor, not a victim.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're going to take a minute right there and take a quick studio break. We're here with Rob Boyd and Mr. Kenneth Bockham. Who do we have today?
All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about Elevate Coworking. Elevate Coworking is where local business owners connect, collaborate, and grow. We offer a community of tools and resources to fuel your passion and your productivity. Elevate your future with us, where success is not just achieved, but celebrated together.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of co-working.
Yeah.
This building we're in is a co-working space, and it is literally, 20 entrepreneurs with various types of offices and podcast rooms, and very different than pre-COVID when we had a 10,000 square foot building.
Right.
That was my office, and now my office is like a 10 square foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're glad to be here. Thank you, Elevate Coworking. We are here today with Rob Boyd, ClassicCleaningOK.com. And Rob's in the commercial cleaning space, Entrepreneur of the Year of the Business Owners Networking Group for 2021, and actually member number one out of what is now 5,600 local entrepreneurial members. And you're the first Entrepreneur of the Year, and you're the first member. I mean, that worked out pretty well.
That many, it's like the gremlins, or like spilling water on them and feeding them after midnight, and they're just growing.
Yeah, it's pretty. These are interesting times. We're talking to Rob, as a man who's had challenges, but he's also become a victor rather than a victim, and we love that mentality. So we want to continue to talk with Rob here on the Cashflows show today. Rob is a guy that is built right into fire, aim, ready, and he doesn't just support that philosophy. He lives that philosophy. So, Rob, we're glad you're here today. Let's move a little bit forward and talk about what you're trying to accomplish and what your goals are. And, that can be for 24 or for 99. What do you see coming? What's the plan?
Well, business-wise, obviously grow. But, the ultimate deal is when it comes time to meet my maker, I want to have had the greatest impact on people that I could have, whether it's through the cleaning business, whether it's through network marketing business, or just friendship.
Right.
I want the tank empty.
Yeah.
I mean, I want everything spent when I'm done. Not money. I mean, my kids would be like, no, don't spend that. But I want my tank empty. I want to know that I ran the race.
Yeah.
I gave it all, and I left nothing undone.
Yeah, Vince Lombardi talk is man's finest moment when he lies on the field of battle, having given it everything he has, exhausted but victorious. Mm-hmm. And that was not the entire speech.
Right.
But anyway,
there were a couple more sentences. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I abbreviated. Well, so I mean, I think that's beautiful. That like you're all in.
Absolutely.
I meet people that they kind of have their toe in it, and they want to get all in results, but their toe is in it. What's it like to go all in? I mean, you're all in your cleaning business, and you're all in your network marketing business, and you're all in the B.O.N.G and friendship. Like, is that a decision, or is that just a behavior?
That's a good question. I think it starts with a decision, and then it has to become a discipline. Because, like this morning, I already hit the gym this morning, and I did not feel like it. That alarm went off, and I did what I usually don't do, and I hit snooze. And then the snooze went off 20 minutes later, and I thought, maybe later today. And literally 3 words popped into my head. No exaggeration. 3 words popped into my head. And when those 3 words popped into my head, I popped out of bed. And those 3 words were win the day.
Win the day.
And I popped up, and I literally went over and did a workout, and then.
You find out those workouts and things that you do and you don't want to do them have a little extra impact on you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I walk in 5'8" and I come out like 6'2", feeling in character, because it's like, I did it.
I think it builds your character as well.
I know some people that actually want to learn that workout.
I may get in on some of that. Very cool. Well, So, Rob, what has been your biggest challenge that you've had to face in business? And when you're done with that, I want to find out what surprised you the most as you went towards business, because you had a more steady job before,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know that that transition is challenging, and you did it just before COVID. But I want to hear what your biggest challenge was, and then I know there's got to be something in there that was a surprise to you that either you didn't know about business or life, or about Rob Boyd.
Well, the biggest challenge was going from, a job, and I love the acronym, just over broke, but going from a job that had all of these steady, structured setup. You knew exactly what you were going to get paid, when you were going to get paid, and simple things like, you had an HR department, and you had training manuals, and you had all of these different things that
Right,
someone had already like beautifully put together for you.
right,
And then you do this your own business, and you're like, I don't have any of that. I
right.
mean, apparently you can spend like lots and lots of money to have somebody give you cookie cutter stuff to do it,
Hmm.
but if not, you gotta make it up on yourself. So that was part of the challenge. And then the other challenge is when you don't have a boss and you become your own boss, it's hard to stay motivated sometimes
Yeah.
because nobody, like, Rob, I'm going to write you up. No, you're not. It's like, you know, how do you, how do you stay motivated and do the things that you need to do? So for me, what I've had to do is and I didn't invent this. Actually stole this from a guy I listened to a podcast named Andy Frisella, but he has what he calls the power list. And what are the 3 or 5 things a day that I have to do to move the needle?
Right,
What do I have to do? And it could be just business, it could be health, it could be relationships. What do I need to do to make sure that the relationship with my kids are strong? What do I need to do to make sure that the relationship with my wife is strong? What do I need to do to make sure that physically, another guy that I follow talks about body being balance in business. All of those need to be in. I've met guys that had all kinds of money, but they were on their fifth marriage and it was failing. Or I've seen guys that were physically fit, but they were broke.
right,
Or, if you don't, so body is obvious.
right,
Being is your relationship with whatever it is you believe. For me, that is God. Balance is your family. And then obviously business.
right.
How do you keep all of those? But I think most people get overwhelmed with saying, here are 47 things I've got to accomplish today. And you're going to fail. You're
Right,
going to fail.
right,
But come up with 3 to 5. Did I get them done? And it doesn't have to take all day. Did you get them knocked out by noon? Cool. Enjoy the rest of your day.
right.
But get those things knocked out. And then was that day a win? Cool. It was a win. I won today. I won tomorrow. I
Win the
didn't.
day.
I didn't win the next day. I didn't win the next day. I won 4 out of 7. Hey, that's the majority of the win. I won the week. Win enough weeks, you win enough months. Win the months, you won the year, and you'll be surprised at how far you get.
Get a hit in baseball 4 out of 7 times, you're a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, I would take that. So win the day. That's a great motto. So what surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most was the emotional connection that I have to the cleaning. When I do, it's really crazy. We specialize a lot in, because we had to pivot because of COVID. So we do commercial, but we also had to pivot into the make ready, the move out stuff,
Right,
because that was a turned up market. People unfortunately were losing their homes or having to move or
right,
downsize or whatever. And so it became a good market. But what surprised me was, I've done, everything from 700 square foot houses to 6,500 square foot houses. But the mentality is the same on them. I've gone into houses that, and in areas that quite honestly, I wouldn't live. But what surprised me is the emotion behind it, that I clean this place knowing that somebody's going to move into this place, and it could be a single mom
mm,
with some children that is bringing her child to a safe environment that wasn't safe, or it could be a newlywed couple or a couple or whatever that's coming in, and they're walking in to this new place, no matter what it is, going, look what I've done for us. And it is a step up for them. It is improvement in their life in one way or another. And the last thing I want them to think about is, oh man, it's dirty.
yeah,
It's dirty. We're out, but we got out of the dirty street, but now we're in a dirty house.
right,
So it's just, for me, it's like creating this beautiful clean slate for a person to take this new journey, that the turning of the page of whatever it is for them. and I didn't expect that connection with it. So that was the biggest surprise for me.
Rob Boyd fell in love with what he does.
Yeah.
I think that might explain some of the success he's had in the local marketplace. So
Yeah.
good on you, Rob. All right. We got two more things before we wrap up.
Okay.
We're going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to ask you for a business nugget. One thing that you can tell the world, all 6 of the people listening, that you think might bring benefit.
Okay.
But if you had the attention of the world for 5 minutes, everybody's listening, everybody's watching, everybody's logged in, plugged in, and tuned in. What does Rob Boyd have to say?
So is that separate than the business nugget?
Yeah, I think we're going to do separate than the business nugget because I think that's a big question.
So I almost feel like they could tie together.
Well, if we need a time together, I think Kenneth, would you allow that?
Let me check with the judges here. Yes,
we'll allow that.
it.
Okay.
Yes, we'll allow
So
it.
one big question
I was
then
like,
with
sweet. I
maybe
said,
2
can I
answers.
throw a red flag? No, for me, everybody says, keep going, don't give up, don't quit, blah blah blah. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. The difference between the people that succeed and the people that don't is that the ones that succeeded in whatever that is, whether it's your relationship, whether it's business, whatever, your health, is that you didn't quit. So that is very important. One of the books I read a long time ago is called 3 Feet from Gold. If you haven't read it, it's a great book. But I think what people miss is that you need to surround yourself with good people. I love to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. If I can tell you a story, I talked about 3 Feet from Gold. Have you ever heard of Melvin Fisher?
I haven't.
Okay.
Is that Mr. and Mrs. Fisher's son?
It is.
Okay.
Indeed.
Sorry.
So you have heard. So in 1622, a ship sunk off of the Florida Keys called the Etosha. Melvin Fisher spent 30 years looking for that sunken treasure.
Wow.
So persistence is
Correct.
key. But my understanding of the story is they gave up. But a guy that'd been working with him went over to Spain, went into a library at Spain, decided to do a little looking into what they'd been spending all their time on, and found that they'd mistranslated the keys, that there are actually 2 sets of keys off of Florida. And they went back and they found what is, if not the largest, one of the largest sunken treasures in the history of the United States.
Wow.
And it reminds me that not only is persistence very important, but having people around you to support you and that may know more than you do is crucial. In fact, this is a coin from that ship.
Wow.
So it is a reminder. It is not one you can't give up, but you need people around you because there may be, whether it's a personal trainer that's telling you, come on, one more, or it's a friend going, did you call that business?
Right.
Did you ask them? Because I can promise you, no matter what you're doing, if you are sitting on your rear, on your couch, in your house, waiting for the doorbell to ring, saying, hey, I was in the neighborhood and I was wondering, do you insert your business here?
Right.
You're going to wait a very long time.
Amen.
You got to proactively go after it and surround yourself with people. And the networking is phenomenal because I like to be the guy that knows a guy.
Yeah.
So
we want to be the guy. Well, Rob Boyd, thank you for that. That is excellent. We're here today with Rob Boyd, ClassicCleaningOK.com. And Rob Boyd, Entrepreneur of the Year for the Business Owners Networking Group and the single founding member of the entire group, and it'll always be that way. And thank you for that. I mean, you've made a great contribution to the community, not just in your business and family, but to the others who have come after you on the path and the trail that you pretty much single-handedly blazed. So we all have you to thank for that, and we do thank you for that. Mr. Kenneth, you ready to wrap this up?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, what number of show is this?
36, 37.
36, 37. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting up there. Well, hey, we want to say thank you to our listeners who came by and listened in. And if you wouldn't mind, please share this podcast with both of the people that you're friends with. We think that would be awesome. And to our sponsors, Kenneth Bauckham, thank you, sir, for all the hard work you do in photography and video. And if you're looking for a way to grow your business, video and photography, what a great way to do it. Look what we've done.
The world is visual.
The world is visual.
Yeah.
And to Lori Zeller at the co-working place, Elevate Co-working. Man, we've got a great relationship to Clarence Shaw, cmcustoms.com, who made all of our apparel, made my mouse. I mean, he's a brilliant man, and we're sure glad to have him on board as a sponsor. And to each of you, thank you for being here. And today, as you go out, make good choices. Man, it's so easy to overlook people that you could be nice to. And I think one of the best things that our listeners could do today is be nice to one another, love one another, and for no reason at all, pick out one person that really doesn't deserve it and forgive them anyway, because forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. And I want to thank the 4 people down in Shawnee, Oklahoma, who are listening in, and a nice kind of little family reunion here. Nice to see everybody. And 2 of our 3 guys, Ernie the second, and Clyde Waxman. We are so glad that you guys are part of our life. Thank you for liking our posts every day. And Kenneth and I are running down to Quick Trip. They are having a twofer on Red Bull and beef jerky. So it is going to be a good day. We'll see you all over there. And thank you for stopping in to Cashflows.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cashflows.